checking for the last dollars. So good morning to the rest of you while Caleb is coming down. How is everybody?
Good.
You're doing okay? I've got a special message, though, for Jaden this morning. And that is, I mentioned it to your dad already. Jaden's been asking me, Pastor, when are we going to have our next game night? Game night, gym and game night. And he's asked me several times, so I want to let you know November 18 is our next gym and game night. Next month, Woodland's going to have some people come over. The gym will be open. We'll get together, and then we're going to do it again in January, February, and March. So, hey, let me ask you, this morning, well, first let me tell you, do you believe God loves us?
Yeah.
He does, doesn't he? Yes, you got it right, Samuel. God loves us very much, and he's very patient with us. Sometimes we make the same mistake over and over, but God still wants the best for us and still loves us. So let me ask you, sometimes when we're growing up, we may have trouble keeping things picked up. Do any of you ever had trouble keeping your stuff picked up, or toys or whatever? So, you have? Okay, we have one honest soul in the group. Okay. Well, I want to tell you about a boy named Barney this morning. His name was Barney, and he had trouble getting things picked up. One morning, his mother came in from outside, and Barney, the night before, had gone over to his friend's home. He had worn his coat, got it all muddy and dirty, and that happens at times from playing. But when he came home that night, he just plopped it on the porch and didn't take it in or anything to put it in the dirty clothes basket that they had. And that next morning, Mom came in and she says, Barney, what? This is your coat. You left it outside all night. And their dog was a little muddy too, got on his coat as well. Sort of made it like a bed, I guess. So it was quite dirty. She says, how could you do that? Oh, Barney says, what do you think he said? I forgot, he said. Yes. Have you ever forgotten anything?
My mom forgets everything.
Whoa! Wow! But I think people heard that. Wow! So I won't even bother to talk about that one. I'm not going there with that.
That's not a bunch of times.
Oh, okay. No, okay. Well, I'll give Mom a little grace, but yeah, okay, that's nice. Well, we'll leave that one for later, maybe. Barney says, oh, Mom, I forgot my coat. I guess I left it lying by the front door last night when I got home from Jesse's house. And Mom says, you'll be sorry if it happens again, she said. Seems like you've been leaving stuff lying around a lot here lately. She said, Daddy just found your jar of caterpillars the other day. Have you ever tried to collect caterpillars or bugs in a jar? Sometimes we do.
Try to get some bugs on the net.
On the net. Okay. When I was growing up, where I grew up at in the Midwest, they would have fireflies. Have you ever seen fireflies? Or lightning bugs, we'd call them. They would glow in the dark and blink. Huh? Have you ever seen those? You have? Oh, you bet. They're neat. You have? Okay. Well, we put them in a jar and collect them. And apparently Barney would collect caterpillars in a jar. But Mom says, Daddy just found your jar of caterpillars the other day, Barney. It was on its side behind the toilet. And he found it last night. And Barney says, well, were the caterpillars okay, Mom? And she said, well, yes. But I suppose if Dad hadn't found them, they would have become butterflies and been flying all over the bathroom. Well, she was sort of laughing when she said that. And Barney said, well, I'm glad you found them. But you know what he said next? I'm sorry, Mom. I'll be more careful about putting my things away from now on. And Mom says, I expect you will. Starting today, anything I find lying around that's yours, I'm going to keep it until Christmas. Oh, Christmas was months away yet. Mom, you can't do that. Well, it shouldn't matter to you if you keep your things picked up. Well, for the rest of the week, Barney was really good. He picked everything up all the time, and especially made sure his baseball uniform was picked up. See, Barney played in a little league, a group with other guys on a baseball team. And his uniform would get dirty when he played. He'd bring it home, and he was to always put it in a dirty clothes basket. And he did that, was doing that. He was the pitcher on the team. And the last game of the season was coming up in just 2 weeks. And the team wouldn't let him play without a uniform. So he had to make sure he always put that uniform in the dirty clothes basket. One night, it was maybe a week after Mom had made this new rule, Barney came home from a practice. And his baseball uniform, of course, was dirty. And he went in to take a shower and put the uniform in a heap on the floor in the bathroom. Took a shower, got out, dried off, got into bed, was really tired, and then remembered, oh, I left my baseball uniform on the floor in a pile in the bathroom. Do you think he got up? He said, no, I'm just feeling too tired. He said, you know what? Mom won't even know it's there. I'll pick it up I'll get up early in the morning and pick it up before Mom even sees it. And so Barney went to sleep. Well, the next morning he got up, and guess what? The baseball uniform was not there. Mom had gotten up before him, seen it in a pile on the floor, and took it. And Barney thought, oh, I've got to have that baseball uniform, otherwise they won't let me pitch on the team, on the big game. But then he thought, no, Mom's not going to go back on her word. She was serious. If I didn't pick things up, I wouldn't see it until Christmas. And the next game, the big game was coming up Sunday. Oh, and he had to have that uniform. Well, the Sunday came. The big game was going to be played that day. No uniform. Mom still had it. Barney had to call his baseball coach and explain why he couldn't pitch for the team that day. He was so sad. That morning he picked at his breakfast. He lay around on the couch till lunch. And all morning, all he kept thinking about was the big game coming up. The team would probably lose without him pitching. And then, just before lunch, Mom sat down on the couch next to Barney, and she had this big package all wrapped up in pretty paper, and she said, Barney, this package is for you. Really? He said. Now, whenever you get a present, how do you open it? Do you take off the paper real careful, or do you rip it off?
Take it off, rip it off.
Rip it off, Samuel says. Aha! I think he enjoys that. Okay. Well, I want to tell you, when we get presents at our house, Connie takes it all very neatly and nice and all that. So if you ever need to know how to do that, just talk to Connie. She can let you know how to do it very neat and nice. I'm more of a ripper, so I understand what you're saying, okay? But he ripped off the paper and opened the box, and guess what was inside?
His uniform.
His baseball uniform, all clean, all nice looking, all nicely folded. And he thought, oh, I can play with the team now this afternoon. And then he looked at Mom, sort of curious. Thanks, Mom, but why did you do that when you told me I couldn't have it until Christmas? And she said, Barney, I did it because I love you. You know what? Sometimes God gives us blessings and we don't even deserve them. But God still loves us and sometimes is nice and gives us blessings even when we don't deserve them. And she said, I figured I could do the same for you, just to share a little bit of love even though you had messed up. You know what? Barney was able to play for the team that day and pitch, but he never forgot that moment when he saw how patient and how loving his mom was. And he always tried to keep things picked up after that much, much better. All right? So I hope not only do you help keep your toys picked up at home, but just remember how much Mom and Dad love you and how much our God loves you as well. All right. Thanks for listening. You can go back to your seats.